I mean, people, one of the stories in Nashville in the last 7 or 8 years has been just the way the honky-tonks have just taken off. I mean, they are always crowded. People love them. And the proximity of the hotels and the convention center to the honky-tonks is, I think that's the attraction. You know, in the addition, you have the Ryman, the Wild Horse, you have the museums and the symphony. But people come to Nashville because of music. I think, clearly music is our calling card, but, I think it's the strength of our economy because it's so diverse. I mean, you look at healthcare management, I think we are the Silicon Valley of healthcare management. You have about 200 plus companies here that do healthcare work, particularly in the management area, that sort of all came after HCA. And that makes us an incredible center for entrepreneurship and energy in that area. And that's been a strong sector, even during all the uncertainty of the Affordable Care Act and debates about healthcare policy. People look to the Nashville companies for solutions to find affordable ways to do things. I think we don't nearly praise it enough, and I think it's vitally important to Nashville's success are our universities. Vanderbilt clearly is a world-class institution, research university. But you look at, TSU does great, but you got Lipscomb and Belmont, which have really come on as national schools. They've had great leadership. I think you're seeing, and we were seeing this before the convention center opened, is the city has become a real tourism and destination. It's the honky-tonks, it's the music, it's I think quality of life, but it's also like restaurants. I mean, I've just been lucky that while I've been mayor for the past 5 or 6 years, the restaurant scene has just exploded. I mean, we went from having some good restaurants, but now it's like a restaurant opens every other week. We're blessed with things that are out of our control. We're just lucky to have. We're lucky to be centrally located. We're lucky to have relatively moderate weather. We're lucky to have a beautiful sort of environment to be in. But I think the things that give me the most confidence about the future is the creative people that healthcare attracts, the creative people that the music industry attracts, and the energy, intellectual energy that the universities bring to the city. That's a pretty good base to build on. I think Memphis does the right thing in celebrating, its jazz and blues roots. I mean, I think Elvis is just so enormous. I mean, you go to Europe and you say you're from Tennessee, and the first thing they say is Elvis. Second thing they say is Jack Daniels. And so those are two brands that are invaluable. I mean, just the number of people I've met who are actually visiting the United States who want to go to Memphis because of Graceland is enormous. I mean, we're very proud that Elvis came here and recorded music, and the Colonel had an office here and things like that. But Memphis owns Elvis. I'd say thank you to the people of Memphis and the government of Memphis. We had a police officer who was killed in the line of duty here recently, Michael Petrina. This last week, I guess I was there for the service. But the city of Memphis couldn't have been better. Both mayors came, I think, were helpful. The fire department did a great display of the flag outside of the church. So Memphis was very good to the Petrina family and very good to Nashvillians who were very deeply hurt by that event. So I'm thankful for that. My son, who's now older, when he graduated from college, did Teach for America, and he taught at East High School in Memphis and lived on Mud Island. And he loves it. He loves Memphis. And I went to East High School to see him teach and went to visit him several times. And I thought it was a beautiful place where he was living. I mean, he was renting a small place, but it was great proximity to downtown. I always enjoy going to Memphis, staying at the Peabody. The food is great. Barbecue, of course, is fantastic. I like the feel of the city. It's a friendly. I have lots of friends from Memphis, so I'm a big fan. It's a good thing in the sense if it's done in a way where it's just two major cities in the same state sort of competing for bragging rights. But I don't really feel that way. I mean, and maybe that's the fact that I'm not a native. Because for me, I'm a Vanderbilt diehard fan. But I am also, if Vanderbilt's not winning, I want UT to win. I guess I should say Memphis, but I want UT to win. I mean, I do identify myself. I don't know where this comes from, but I'm for Tennessee, and if it's not Vanderbilt, Nashville, then I want the other part of Tennessee to be the ones winning. And so I don't really look at it that way. I don't think if Memphis achieves something or that hurts us. I mean, it's good for us. It's good for Nashville when the rest of the state does well. So other than sort of Mayor Warden gives me a hard time sometimes. I was down in Memphis once for something to see my son, and we went to, I'm trying to think of the name of the hotel. It's near the Peabody. It's an older building, has a bar on top. Jeff and I are up there. We're getting ready to meet my son for dinner and having a glass of wine. And AC was up there with a new paddle boat that was on the river. They built the new area for it. And so I watched him doing his thing, his press conference. I went over to talk to him later about it to congratulate him. So he's always joked that, with the Cumberland, that boats really couldn't even turn. It's not big enough to turn around in, that you have to go put it in reverse to get back and forth, and that we don't have anything like the Mississippi. So, I mean, that kind of good-natured discussion that we do, I think, is fine. But I think both Memphis and Nashville, we're in the same state, we're in the same boat, to stick with that metaphor. And I want Memphis to do well, and I want us to do well.